So, Durk was buying plane tickets. He bought 3 plane tickets, one for Italy, one way. I don't know why Italy, they got extradition. Maybe he thought he'd throw him off the trail. One for United Arab Emirates, the UAE, where Dubai is at, and one for Switzerland. Switzerland and UAE probably don't have extradition, but just because a country doesn't have a automatic extradition with the United States, don't mean they won't extradite you. I highly doubt if Switzerland or Dubai would have not extradited Durk. So Durk knew it was coming. As soon as these guys got arrested, he knew he was in trouble. Apparently a guy named OTF Jam wore a wire. So what does this all go back to? Of course, Durk, look at this picture with the haunted look in his eyes. That's him in county jail, Broward County down in Florida. They grabbed him before he could fly out of Miami International. Ironically, the same place Puffy was hanging around before when they thought he was going to flee. Diddy may have a chance to get bail. Durk's not going to get bail. Durk is going to be eligible for the DEATH penalty. That's right. Federal M for hire carries that penalty. And before we get into this, I know, oh, Durk's so stupid, and, why would he do this? He was was he really cleaning up his life of becoming Muslim and putting down the BD flag, or was he getting scared? And maybe he thinks this will protect him, or he was grasping at straws. But I can tell you from personal experience, and this is why, this is why it's sad growing up in these neighborhoods. You get really acculturated into violence. It seems very normal. On 2 occasions, I myself went to commit first degree. Long time ago. Once the guy wasn't home, sat in his driveway, he ain't come home. Then I left it alone. Another time, I rounded up other people, made them come with me. I was the ringleader. We got there. I aimed at somebody, and he said, "What are you doing this to me for? I didn't have anything to do with it." And he was right. And in the air, I got a case for that. And I'm far from a crazy person. Culturated into violence. When you're telling them slide for Von, his whole career was built on being from the street, a bad neighborhood, a gang, and violence. Same thing with Nipsey Hussle. So there's an active member of the Rolling 60s. These are what the consumers reward. This is what you reward. Violence and killing. So this should come as no shock. Thank you so much. Seaweed salad. Seaweed salad is excellent. So, if you don't know the basics of what just happened, last night, 5 of Durk's people, 3, I think 2 are known, OTF, like signed OTF, and then 1 is a guy that maybe is sort of like a manager. These people coordinated from different cities back in 2022 to get revenge for the murder of King Von. Let's go back to the height of the pandemic, 2020. NBA Youngboy's understudy, or his rapper that's under him, Quando Rondo, is in an Atlanta hookah bar. Atlanta did not close down, and people were wilding out in the pandemic, if you remember. Durk was down there with Von wilding out. Him and Von caught a case where they pulled out a gun, they robbed a guy. Somehow they got that dismissed in Atlanta. I still don't know how. You can imagine. And Quando Rondo and his crew were in the hookah bar. Von and them were in there. They get into a fight. Von is on top of Rondo. One of Rondo's guys, Lil Tim, comes out. King Von is no more. So now the slide for Von meme starts, right? So, hey, Lil Durk, you've been rapping about how violent you are and BD this and that. That's what made him the money. You take away the excitement, the edginess, the raw danger of knowing these guys really are out here like that. Then what do they have left? What is drill rap without drilling? What is rap music? What is a lot of pop culture around young black males? If you take away the murder and the violence, it's not that exciting. That's the sick truth, but that's the sickness of America. These are celebrities. This is a dystopian science fiction novel. This is an episode of Black Mirror. Musical acts murdering each other, and it drives their popularity in sales. This is all of our responsibility to listen to this kind of music that, this is America, land of violence, land of the UFC, MMA, and musical acts to kill each other. I guess the guy, so Quando Rondo's guy takes out Lil Tim, the Georgia state or the whatever county prosecutor rules that justifiable homicide after some time. Now, it was no publicity stunt. Durk and them were trying to get at Quando Rondo's people. There was a shooting down in Louisiana at one point. And what else happened? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I wanted to jump on top of this. I thought it was interesting that, compelling that Durk bought all these one-way plane tickets. So, kind of doing this off the top of my head. But, and then there was an incident where Quando Rondo really couldn't do concerts. Durk would buy all the tickets, or buy 100 tickets, or all the front row tickets. Crazy. So in 2022, several guys flew from Chicago to San Diego. I guess they called themselves being slick. San Diego's about a 2-hour drive from LA. Flying to San Diego, drive up. The tickets were bought with OTF credit cards. Then the guy that flew on a private jet from Miami to LA, OTF Vonnie, he, I think, rented a car, he rented a hotel room at the Universal City with the OTF credit card. And he had a car with the fake license plate. Don't know where that came from. And another car they had, I don't know if it was rented, that was provided to the guys that flew in from Chicago. The three shooters maybe. OTF Day, and Vonnie was overseeing it. There's 5 conspirators, so 3 shooters, OTF Vonnie to oversee it, and co-conspirator number 1, which is probably Lil Durk. If you remember years ago, there used to be that phrase, studio gangsters. Nobody really uses that anymore because real gangsters in the rap world, Lil Durk comes from a line of serious gangsters. His father, Big Durk, only a couple years ago got out of prison after doing 25 years. Lil Durk probably never thought he'd grow up to outdo his father in serious criminality. Does not look good for Durk. This is not like the YSL case. They got an inside man. The description, the precise description of what went on in LA that day when Lul Pab was stalked by 2 cars. They stopped for gas. On San Vicente. Quando Rondo's in the car with Lul Pab and his sister, and the guys jump out. OTF Day and the other 2 guys jump out wearing 4 ski masks that were purchased that very day by OTF. Bonnie or Day Day for cash right in LA at a sporting goods store. Matter of fact, there's a sporting goods store right down the street. A man always has me meet me over there when I need a few relaxation pills. The Big Circle 5, the Big 5 sporting goods. It's right there in San Vicente. I bet you that's where they bought the ski mask, because that's right down the street from that gas station on San Vicente. And that's like right at the edge of Beverly Hills. I think San Vicente might be the border. That might be West Hollywood. That's like right where West Hollywood, Beverly Hills, which both sit in the middle of the west side of the actual city of Los Angeles. So, I wonder why. So this OTF Jam, who wore a wire at some point on OTF, I wonder what leverage they had on him. I mean, he was giving interviews as recently as a year ago, like making the rounds as an up-and-coming rapper, giving, Warren Chirac type interviews. But he had done 12 years in prison not too long ago. In communities where so many people have, get felony charges when they're young, go to prison. Once you've been to prison, once you've had a gun case, law enforcement, especially the federal government, has tremendous leverage over you. Once you've had one gun case, you catch another case with a gun. I mean, they could start you off with the armed career offender, which carries 15 years. Right? So you're just riding around with a gun, and maybe you do some other crime that to you doesn't seem like a big deal, and suddenly you're in a back room and they're talking about, you're going to get 15 to start, which will be consecutive with this other 7 years. Your life is over. So they get people to talk. And these are exactly the type of crimes federal government is going after. These egregious, out in public, no respect for the idea that there's even such a thing as the law. We're not even going to hide it. We're flying from different states, killing people in public. And Lil Durk is going to be charged with overseeing all of this and be eligible for the DEATH penalty. He dropped his BD flag formally just maybe a month ago. He's been dressing up in Muslim clothes. That doesn't save you. He reminds me, I remember going to jail and there was a young guy. He had like 27 carjackings. He was probably 18. He's carrying a Bible around. He tried to string himself up. The Bible and all that's not going to protect you, or Islam. Andrew Tate ran to Islam. Don't protect you after the fact. You better think about religion beforehand. Crazy. Is this the end of an era in rap music? Is this the end of rap music? Kinda as we know it, or the beginning of the end? Because rap has devolved, like hip-hop is extremely influential at all musical genres. So that hip-hop influence isn't going anywhere because it is almost all pop music, even country. But like actual rapping, like pure rapping, mostly is that street stuff. And between YSL, the Old Block, and now the biggest of them all, Durk, gonna face the DEATH penalty. I bet you there's a lot of rappers running scared. The YSL thing is scary because, if you're a label, a rapper with a label, because I could believe the explanation of YSL of like, all right, got a bunch of rental cars around and people take the cars and come and go as they please. I know what they're going to do. That sounds plausible to me. But in this Durk case, we have an inside man, an informant, and probably some of those At least one of those shooters sounds like a cooperator, saying that Durk offered financial rewards now. And they got paid too, because right after they whacked out Lul Pab, they went to a hamburger stand, cool and calm. Wasn't these guys' first time doing something like this. They went to a hamburger stand, discussed money, and OTF Day, I think, gave the other guys some money right in LA. They went back to San Diego and they flew to Chicago. That was 2 years ago. Boy, look at the haunted look in Lil Durk's eyes. He is in shock. Feds did this fast. He was gonna flee. One-way ticket, United Arab Emirates, and another one-way ticket to Switzerland, and another one-way ticket to Italy. Durk was planning to run. Why not? Not running now. And because of his money and influence, he's exactly the kind of prisoner, like a Pistol Pete Rollock, a Sex Money Murder Bloods, and he's the exact kind of prisoner you put on damn near like a barely let him talk to anybody, including his lawyers. That happens to people. Like, if you have the power to reach out and influence people, federal judges will restrict you even during pre-trial detention. That's why Puffy can't get out. That's probably why Puffy can't get out. When you have too much money and power, the prosecutors can make the case that, well, you could influence the case, the investigation, a potential trial too much. Feds are scary. It's not like the state. Sure seems like you get less rights in a federal case. Obviously, I'm not somebody that's going to church or, believes in standard religious stuff, but the idea of there being dark elements within us in society, of course, is true. And making money talking about killing and marketing yourself through actual murders. Listen to me, I'm a real BD from Chicago. I mean, is Durk that much better than a bunch of other rappers? More exciting. Really from gangland. Sounds like, you make a deal with the devil. You talk about murder and you kill people to get money. Well, you talk about murder to make money. And you got murderers around you. You sign, I guess. Oh yeah, I'm doing good. Thank you. You sign not my words, many other people's words, a serial killer or whatever, a hitman, someone who murked a lot of people. According to Chicago PD, King Von, you sign him to your label, you make money off him. He gets killed. Durk probably was under a tremendous amount of pressure from the fans. I mean, they had that slide for Von thing, but also the people around him. The guys, as they say. Right? Because it was Durk and NBA Youngboy had a beef, which bled into it being Rondo and Von, which led to Von's death. So I could see amongst the guys, you have to avenge him. And maybe all this, like Durk was trying to create, well, he waited too long. He got his revenge, and then he did that song with J. Cole, and he dropped his flag, and he's been dressing up in the Muslim outfits or whatever, those Middle Eastern outfits. Maybe he was trying to establish himself as a good Muslim before fleeing to the United Arab Emirates and appealing to them to protect him as a fellow Muslim. I don't know what the hell he had in mind. But man, you kill somebody, murder for hire in Beverly Hills. The United States wasn't having that. And then, remember, all these idiots, listen, everybody doesn't snitch, but a lot of people do. And when you have a ace in your hole, ace in your pocket about knowing about a high-profile murder, and there's so many people that can get put under pressure by the Fed simply for having a gun, they can look at a long, long prison term. It became too tempting for somebody in the OTF camp, or not tempting, too necessary to keep themselves probably out of prison for a long time. Doesn't sound like they broke this case through like outside investigatory evidence. It was someone from inside that knew about it or was there, started talking. They say OTF Jam wore a wire. I don't know if he wore a wire when somebody talked. Maybe he talked to a shooter. We're going to see in the coming days and weeks. What will this play out into? Well, Durk is going to be facing a death penalty, and in these death penalty cases, and they don't give many people the federal death penalty, but they have given a few. And in a way, Durk would be the kind of guy like, damn, you were rich and you still did this purely for revenge and you orchestrated something across states. You're a dangerous person, like a drug kingpin, right? Durk, someone millions of dollars, very influential, showed the willingness and ability to orchestrate an elaborate plot that would have only been broken, that was only broken up because of an internal leak. He is the dangerous person. He's like a kingpin, like someone from Mexico. If you're going to give somebody a death penalty, I mean, not illogical that it would be him. I'm not wishing it on him, but so that leaves him with having to take a life plea, and life in federal. Like if you do a federal life, that's life. There's no parole. It's not like most states, you do life, you come up with parole in some amount of years, 27 years, 35 years. State of Michigan has a natural, they call it natural life, no parole. Other states have life, no parole. Some do, some don't. The feds, though, you get life. There's people that had drug cases in the early 70s. Herbie Sperling, the Jewish supplier of Nicky Bars and others, he got locked up in 73. He got life. He died about 2 years ago. Life. Durk will have to plead to life. He's not going to get out on bail. He's not going to be making phone calls because he has too much ability to influence. He's going to have a hard time even with lawyer visits. I know people this has happened to. T. Stuckey in Detroit, he had a hard time getting lawyer visits, which would seem like is illegal, but I mean, he got them here and there, but they're going to give Durk a hard time. He's going to go to MCC Los Angeles. It's not even going to be in Chicago because the case is out of LA, Central District of California. What a turn of events. I really think this is going to be a watershed moment for rap, because this is just so many of these indictments now. And a lot of things that went on during pandemic all around the country. They're charging people with PPP fraud from 4 years ago, 3 years ago. And they're looking back, over old cases. This won't be the only one. Unless Trump gets in and pardons them. Ooh, what if Trump does a deal? I'm just talking crazy now, but Trump has managed to siphon off some of the black vote by letting rappers who don't vote out of jail on gun charges. Who knows what he'll do now? So, Elliot Grange, the son of Lucian Grange, head of Universal. I guess he just got made head of Universal. They fired all those executives. If if Young Thug and Lil Durk are responsible for the people they sign, well, aren't the people that sign people like Young Thug and Lil Durk like Sony, Universal? Where's Lear Cohen? Where's Kevin Liles? Where's all of these people's responsibility? If you're going to hold the 25-year-old, the 28-year-old high school dropouts responsible for who they sign, I mean, NBA Youngboy's in jail, Durk's in jail, Diddy's in jail. The whole half the hip-hop hierarchy's in jail, just got out, is headed to it. CMG, is the CMG Rico next? Rap turned into the real black mafia, like I was saying the other night. Rap took over from dope. It's the new streets. But rap became like crack, like selling crack. It had a period of time. It's easy to make money talking about violence and doing wild stuff. It's just like in the, by the 89, 90, with crack, everyone was dead and locked up, all the first wave of people. Rap is going, that type of rap is going down. And so I was mentioning how Elliot Grange has now been given power at Universal. He let a lot of executives go. They're totally changing the way the music industry will be structured. And it's perfect because they don't want these type of problems. Forget big artists. It's just all about songs. In this age of TikTok, it's all about particular songs, and you don't need to worry about particular artists. And you lose the problems like this. You make a bunch of songs, something gets popular, you promote it. And each person has to find their next hit on their own. There's going to be no support for artists, definitely not in rap. NBA Youngboy, self-destructive, crazy person, calling in fake scripts. I mean, when you step back and look at all this, the street rap stuff from, a high perch, like, wow. I mean, this is crazy. But these are the same people, these industrious young guys from the worst neighborhoods in America. These are the same people. People like them were the crack kingpins of the mid-'80s. It was all fun and games and getting money until it wasn't. Went from 100 to 0, just like that. So Lil Durk facing a death penalty. Street rap looking at its end.
Shit.
Interesting. So Lil Durk tried to escape, and they got him. He's charged first-degree murder. Al Prophet, American Dope.